everyone, it's Allison here, also known as Lasan Faye, and I'm here today with a brand new Zen Doodle with me video. As always, this video is for the tangles that are selected for the Zen Art Challenge by Heather over at Mindful Creativity, and there's a link to the Facebook group down in the description below. This week's tangles are covering the tangles for May 21st through May 27th. And let's go ahead and dive on in. But before I do, as a quick reminder, any and all original sources to the tangles I've included in links in the description below. So let's dive on in. Okay, so the first tangle I have for you all today is called Whirls, and it's by Suzanne McNeil. And the way you want to get started with this one is you want to create a staggered dot grid. And what I mean by that is place one round of dots, and on the next line below, rather than having them match up, you want to go in the empty spaces. All right, then what you want to do is between any two pair of dots, you want to create a curved line, actually a pair of curved lines that connects them, and you want them to alternate which way the curve goes. Once you've done that in one direction, you also want to do that in the other direction. Once that whole grid is in place, anywhere that you originally drew a dot, you want to go to those places and draw some leaves coming out of them. And you want to do that for every dot. That is it for Whirls. Yeah, this is a nice, pretty little design. Kind of like makes me think back on Hawaii a little bit. But that is it for this tangle, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright, so the second tangle I have for you all today is called Crusade, and it's by Wayne Harlow. And this is one of those that you can tile, but I'm only going to do one iteration of it. And the way you want to get started is within your tile space, you want to draw a diagonal line that goes from the bottom left to the upper right. And off of that diagonal line, you want to draw 2 more diagonal lines that don't quite span the full length. And in the middle of those, you want to draw another diagonal line that's going to wind up falling behind the main part of the image, but if you were to draw the full line, would go from the bottom right to the upper left. And similarly, you want to echo this diagonal line on the edges of the other shorter diagonal lines. Then from the ends of the short diagonal lines, you want to come forward and make a point on the very first diagonal line that you drew. And that is it for Crusade. You can also feel free to shade and fill this in however you like, but I'm going to leave this as is and move on to the next tangle. The third tangle I have for you all today is called Pyfloy, and it's by Karen Klankmeyer. And how you want to get started with this one is we're going to make little integral-like shapes. So, yes, I'm a math nerd, and this is how I think about drawing the shape, is it's like I'm drawing an integral sign that is a little bit longer on top, but shorter underneath. And then I'm echoing that with one that's shorter on top and longer underneath. And I'm going to do a couple of those. All right, now that those are in place, I am going to connect the bottom point about part way up on the previous part. Just draw a little line there. And then I'm going to follow that line to the other side, come up, around, curl over, and connect to the top point on the next one. And then, as a final measure, I am going to add another line that comes out and connects to the bottom point where we initially started drawing our connections from. And as one last piece of embellishment, I am going to have one more little U shape that comes out the top. And that is how you do Pyfloy. It kind of looks like blobs that wrap around each other. I think it's actually really cute, and you can see a couple of variations of it off in the image over on the right hand side. But I'm going to leave this one here and move on to the next tangle. The fourth tangle I have for you all today is a combination of Ahranat and Paradox that was made by Aaron Olson. And the way you want to get started with this one is by drawing a star. And I'm not capable of freehanding a 5-pointed star. So I'm going to use a pencil and create a star using that. And then with my pen, I'm going to come around and fill in the outer edges and darken those up. All right, and now that I've done that, what I'm going to do next is create a little segment that goes from a little ways off the top corner and sinks right into the lower left of the star points. And I'm going to continue this idea all the way around and jumping for lines that I've already drawn. And I'm just going to repeat this process going all the way in until I run out of space. Just like that, we're all done with this tangle. This is a little fun tangle. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this and move on to the next one. All right, so the next tangle I have for you all today is called Soy, and it is by Sandra Wallen. And the way to get started with this one is you want to first create a curved wavy line that initially pulls out and comes in and pulls out again, and you want to make sure that the coming back in gets captured, and you want to do the same thing on the other side. So pulls away and comes back but doesn't quite meet, pulls away, comes back. Then on one side, you want to echo the curve just inside without it fully reaching everything. And then you want to echo the whole shape on the outside. And that's all there is to soy, which kind of looks like a soybean. You can add embellishments as you wish. You can layer multiple of them together, but I'm just going to do this one and leave it as it is. The sixth tangle I have for you all today is called Goza, and it's by Melosas. And this is one of those that would make a really nice border. And the way you want to get started with it is you want to make some diagonal squares, as many as you want in order to fill up the space. And then from the bottom corner to the right corner, just draw a little curved line that looks like a parenthesis. And from the left corner to the top corner of the next one, draw a parenthesis going the other way. Then halfway up your right parenthesis, you want to create a line that comes up and hooks at the top. And from the initial diagonal squares that we drew, just draw a line that connects that edge to the curve that hooks. And you similarly want to create this on the other side. And in the middle of these last leaf shapes that we made, just draw a line that bisects it a little bit, but doesn't quite go all the way up to the top. And as a final measure, you can go through and fill in the original squares that we drew. And that is it for Chill Goza. Again, as I mentioned, this is a nice fun little border piece that you can throw into your work. And yeah, I might actually do that, especially if I were to combine it with, say, something like Whirl, which I happen to have next to it on my page. I think those could look really nice next to each other. But that is it for this tangle, and I am going to go ahead and move on to the final tangle. Alright, the final tangle I have for you all today is called Numba, and it's by Patricia Meiser. And so the way that we're going to get started with this one is we're going to kind of make a little squiggle line that starts by going away and comes in, back out, in, out. And you want to end by coming back in and then circle around and repeat the shapes on the other side. Then on either side of it, you want to echo these curved lines, except you want to, instead of going in where this one goes in, you want to go out, in, out, in, out, in. And repeat that until there's no more in spaces to go out from. Then in the middle of all of these, you can just do little circles on the wide gaps that you have. And that is Numba. Nice little tangle to do. So yeah, and that's it for this one. And again, you don't have to shade in these little areas exactly as I did. You could leave them as open circles, and just feel free to do what you want. But this is how I'm going to leave it. Alright, that is it for this week's Zen Doodle with me video. I really hope you all enjoyed these doodles, and I look forward to seeing you all next week to finish off this month's challenge. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It makes it easier to find. And if you would like to see more of these videos, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you again for watching. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.